we have created our action creator, we have created our reducer. Now finally, it's time to start with our store. So inside this Redux folder, we have already created store.js. I'm just going to open store.js. I will just bring the file here. Now we are going to see how to create store and how to provide this store to our entire React application so that whichever component needs the data from the store, they can easily get and they can update the UI. So first step, I'm just going to import create store from Redux. Here I will write import. Now we are going to use ES6 import. Now we are not going to access this create store from Redux library. Directly, we are just going to import create store from Redux. Here I will write create store from Redux. Now below this, I will start with creating my store. I will write create store method, and inside this we have to pass reducer function, and this reducer we have already created and we have exported. So to use inside store.js, I have to import my reducer. I will write import. My reducer name is pizza reducer and I have imported from pizza reducers file. Now this reducer I'm just going to pass as argument for this create store. Then this entire value I'm just going to assign to this variable store. Okay, simple enough. I have created the store and inside this create store I have passed my reducer function. Now what I want, this entire store I want to pass to my React application, which means I have to use this store in other files. So I have to export my store. I will write export and I will do default export. Here I will write store. Okay, simple enough. Why I am exporting? Because this store I have to pass to my React application, which means I will be using store in other files. Now the big question is, where do we actually provide this store in our application? For that, I will open my app.js, which is present inside SRC. So now at this point, we are going to make use of React Redux library, because using that library, we are going to connect our React and Redux. And this React Redux library will be exporting provider component. So that component we are directly going to import and use in our application. So here I will write import. Inside this I will be writing provider, and this component is already exported by that React Redux library. So simply we are just going to import, and here from where we are importing? We are importing from React Redux library. Okay, this is the component which is already exported. So only thing we are doing is we are importing this provider component in our app.js. Now what we have to do? This provider component we have to wrap in our application. So here I am going to write provider. Close this. This provider has to be wrapped in entire application. I will remove, and here I am just going to paste. You can also write this provider component inside index.js and you can wrap app component. But now I am having only pizza component. So that is the reason I am using provider component to wrap my pizza box component. Again, the new question is, how does this provider component will get to know about our Redux store? This provider component we got from React Redux, but our store is present inside Redux. So how this component will be aware of that store? So for that, first I'm just going to import store. I will be importing store from store.js, and this entire store I will be passing as a prop to my provider component. Here I will give the prop name as store. You can give anything, but inside this whatever value we are passing, that should be exactly matching with this imported value. Here I am going to paste. So now our provider component will be aware of this store. Why? Because we have specified the store as a prop. And always remember, whenever you want to provide the store, you should always provide at the top level of the component. Only then all the components will be having access to this store. If you do not want to provide here directly inside index.js, you can wrap entire app component using provider component, but directly inside app.js, I have considered my pizza box as the parent component, and this component I have wrapped inside provider. Once we complete this step, what we are doing, we are providing this store to every component present in our applications component tree. So suppose later if I am creating burger component, then here I can render that, and easily all the components will be able to access this store. Okay, simple enough. To use this provider component, we are going to use our react-redux library. Only then we will be able to connect React and Redux. And one more thing, always remember, whenever we are accessing any properties or methods from package, we have to wrap this package inside single quotes or double quotes. Save it. Now, as soon as I wrap, again, I will be having this stripe. As multiple times I told, this create store is deprecated because we are having more modern way of writing Redux. But still, for learning purpose, it is still valid. And once you understand this entire concept, then writing Redux in modern way will be very easy and also straightforward.